The old class is out and the new class is in. These quarterbacks are changing what we view as a franchise guy. They have revolutionized passing, all respectively in their own ways, to the point where the defenses just can't stop them. They change the way we look at the quarterback position and make us truly amazed every time we watch them. And if you're Chris Collinsworth, you might take that to a new level. Watching these quarterbacks sling the rock around the field is electric. So who are the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now? Let's discuss it. Looking at the top guys, it can be extremely hard to rank them, all respectively in their own ways. But this list isn't just based off of last year's performance, it's also based off of their career and how they are trending upwards or downwards. Now coming in my honorable mention, I have to have Jalen Hurts here. Jalen Hurts definitely deserves some love. Now he doesn't crack my top 5 yet, but given another good year, I'll be forced to put him up there. Looking at Hurts' performance this year, it was just exciting. This year he led the Eagles to the Super Bowl, coming up just short of winning it all. Jalen Hurts showed his enormous potential, throwing for 3,700 yards and 22 touchdowns with a completion percentage of 66.5%. But throwing wasn't all Hurts could do. He was an excellent runner as well, rushing for 760 yards and 13 touchdowns. He scored 35 touchdowns to only 13 turnovers, which is almost a 3-to-1 ratio. With these incredible stats, he finished second in MVP voting, third in Offensive Player of the Year, and also getting elected to a Pro Bowl and second-team All-Pro. Despite this amazing year, the only thing holding him out of the top 5 is going to be his performance last year. With his career trending in the right direction, he could easily be named a top 5 quarterback, and he will be the face of the Eagles for many years to come. Cracking the top 5, I have Lamar Jackson, as he should be, to be honest with you. But if he continues to get injured and not play at the elite level that he played at, he will soon fall off this list, and that really comes down to situations. But let's talk about the positives. Lamar has been exciting to watch since entering the league in 2018. Yes, it's really been that long. Looking at his season this year, it doesn't really reflect who he is as a player. He threw for 2,200 yards and 17 touchdowns. Now again, just like Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson is known for his running ability. This year he ran for 760 yards and 3 more touchdowns. This was arguably one of his worst seasons overturning the ball over 10 times. Now this isn't even that bad of a season, but for Jackson, this is a down year. Granted, he had an injury not allowing him to complete the season. Lamar over his career has thrown for 12,200 yards and 101 total touchdowns. Also rushing for 4,400 yards and another 24 touchdowns, I feel with Jackson, he gets a little bit too much hate and should be loved a little more. Winning an MVP and being elected to an All-Pro first team, he has single-handedly led the Ravens to a potent offense, well, and along with Mark Andrews. Looking at his career and still at how young he is, he can continue to play at a top 5 level, as long as injuries don't derail his career. Questions remain though, will he be the franchise quarterback for the Ravens? And if so, will the Ravens get him more help? Slinging his way into number 4, I have Justin Herbert. I feel Justin Herbert definitely deserves to be top 4. And since entering the league since he was drafted, he's been nothing short of astonishing. In just his 3-year career, he's already thrown for over 14,000 yards, never throwing for less than 4,000 yards. He's a career completion percentage of 67% and has a career interception percentage of less than 2%. He finished top 10 in MVP voting and also won Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2020. Again, he's only been in the league for 3 years. He has kept the Chargers in games that they shouldn't have been in the first place. Not only that, he's also incredibly tough, playing through injuries that most players wouldn't play through. Michael Thomas. Watching him throw the football is honestly a work of art. He has beautiful form and has made some throws that I honestly have never even seen or thought were possible. He has had a great supporting cast, at least a modest one. This year he was without his top 2 wideouts and still threw for almost 4,800 yards. In the playoffs though, he hasn't won anything. The question remains, will Herbert ever be able to win a Super Bowl with all the competition that he has in the AFC? Hurdling his way into number 3, I have Josh Allen. Now the fact that people think Josh Allen is bad because he had a quote bad year is just ridiculous in my opinion. Allen remains a top 3 quarterback, but he just can't go any higher. Looking at his stats just this year alone, he threw for almost 4,300 yards and 35 touchdowns, also running for 760 yards and 7 more touchdowns. The reason people have started to hate Allen is because of his inability to win a Super Bowl. Throughout his 5-year career, he's thrown for over 18,000 yards and 138 touchdowns. But that's not all. He's also known for being able to run all over and wherever he wants to, rushing for over 3,000 yards and another 38 touchdowns on the ground. He has been nothing short of elite for 3 straight years, finishing top 3 in MVP voting twice and being elected to 2 Pro Bowls and an All-Pro second team. Him being top 2 isn't even that far-fetched. I wouldn't argue with anyone who has him there. Why don't the Bills just get him more help? I really feel that would help his situation. Being a winner is in his blood, and that's what he was born to do. That's why I have to have Joe Shiesty coming in at number 2. Joe Burrow has been astonishingly great since entering college. He has continued his excellence into the pros. In college, though, he shattered dozens of records, too many to even name. But what's important to note is that he won a Heisman and a championship in the same season. The next year, he would be selected first overall by the Cincinnati Bengals. Since entering the NFL, outside of the one injury-plagued season, he has thrown for nearly 12,000 yards and 82 touchdowns, in essentially just 2.5 seasons. He won Comeback Player of the Year in 2021, the same year he led the Bengals to the Super Bowl, falling just short though. Just this season alone, he threw for 4,400 yards and 35 touchdowns. While yes, he does have tremendous amounts of help with the likes of T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, that's just naming a few, he has shown his talent himself, being nothing short of excellent in all games he's played, showing that he's elite in every game that he's played in, and falling just short of winning it all in back-to-back seasons. With Burrow, it's really hard to truly say how good he could continue to be, and we will just have to wait and see. Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is undisputably the greatest quarterback in the game right now. Some people are even comparing him to Tom Brady, which I think is a little outlandish, but I think you get the point. I would still say he's the best in the league right now, and by quite a wide margin. Being drafted in 2017 and not even making his first starting season until 2018. He's been starting in the NFL for about 5 years now, and I don't even know how anyone could say he's not. Throughout his career, he's thrown for 24,000 yards, 192 touchdowns. His completion percentage is 66.3%, with a touchdown to interception ratio of nearly 4-1. He has already established himself as a top 10 quarterback of all time, winning 2 MVPs, 2 Super Bowls, an Offensive Player of the Year, and 2 Super Bowl MVPs, and also appearing in a 3rd Super Bowl. He's been elected to 2 first-team All-Pros, a second-team All-Pro, and 5 Pro Bowls. Many people thought, after losing Tyreek Hill, Mahomes would take a step back, but he did quite the opposite, throwing for 5,250 yards and 41 touchdowns, winning MVP and the Super Bowl even after losing his number 1 weapon. Where will Mahomes finish on your ranking all time? Top 2 or as the GOAT? Or just anywhere?